Monica, you're loud. Hello, everyone. This tonight is gonna be different. The reason why it's gonna be different, it's been something that when I first started my YouTube channel, you know how we tell people you need to learn how to forgive people, you need to heal, you need to reconcile, fix the issue, move on, love yourself. Well, it's different phases to that. And this live is going to be different. When I finish, I'm going to pull from my homemade deck that I made. Whew, I'm about to shock the hell out of y'all. Because I didn't know today was going to be different from what I'm about to tell y'all. Because I don't share this with everybody. I share this with certain people that I'm close to. I would have to know you or feel your vibe. Some people, I probably tell them like 5-10%. And that's because I know their ways. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull these live up on my cell phone real quick. So, okay, for me to be a reader, this is something that spirituality, it wasn't drawn to me. It's in my bloodline. I knew I was different when I was a kid. I couldn't explain my visions, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't relate to a lot of kids because I was different. And I just want to, because I'm going to take this video and I'm going to load it on my YouTube channel, because I've been saying that I'm going to come out, tell everyone about me, how I got into tarot, because as readers, well, for one, I'm more than just a reader, but you guys know me as a reader. As a reader, we help, we fix issues, we inform you of challenges coming your way, how to overcome them. And I always tell people to forgive people, pray. I tell people to reconcile differences. But long story short, today I woke up and I wanted to make me an omelet. I kind of knew this day was going to be different. I cracked 6 different eggs. Every egg that I cracked had a little blood in it. For some of you who don't know much about spirituality, you can do an egg cleanse. If it got blood in the eggs, then it's just the whole stuff. But I was like, okay, God, what are you trying to tell me? I don't need an omelet. But then before I left, I said, no, he's trying to tell me this and that. And I kind of knew, but then I'm like, no, I'm gonna brush it off. Then I get to work and I'm messages and signal. It's hard to explain, but I just get on YouTube and the first thing pop up is 2 of these videos, and I'm like, I'm gonna refresh. Every time I refresh my YouTube thing, the same videos kept popping. I was like, Lord, what y'all want me to watch? So I watched the video and I'm like, oh, this is what you want me to do. This the signs that the blood was in the egg, because I've been holding on to something, and I'm not really holding on. Long story short, not a lot of people know much about me. Some people think they know some stuff about me, so I'm gonna go ahead and sum it up to you very quickly. I'm from Alexandria, Louisiana. My mom has 4 kids. Out of all 4 kids, I'm the oldest. I'm spiritually gifted. And it runs in my family. And everybody knew when I was a kid how different I was, but that was not to be discussed. Instead, it was to put me down a lot. And we all are grown, and we all went to school, and everybody has had a bully, right? I'm pretty sure everyone has someone that bullied them. Well, my first bully was my mom. And this actually happened. I would say I was in like elementary. I'm talking about like a little kid. Like, my mom used to pull my hair. She used to slap me in my face. It was always something about me that she didn't like. Now, as a person today, it was something in me that she didn't see in herself that she couldn't overcome. And I tell people to forgive people, to reconcile differences, to heal, because I know about a lot of that. Since I was 4 or 5, I've been molested by men in my family, on my mom's side and on my biological father's side. And as a kid, you really don't know who to tell, what not to tell. And this happened all the way till I was like, what, 12, 13? Actually, I think this went on till I was like, what, 13, 14? And it just, back then I didn't know about STDs. It's like sexual transmitted demons. So, being a child, we're more innocent, we're more pure. And you have grown men, grown ass men, touching on kids. They're putting their negativity in their, I'm gonna say bad juju. They're putting all that on a kid. So from the age 4 and up, all the way to about 14, I was molested for years. During that time, growing up, life was hard. I had to learn how to clean up early. I had to learn how to wash dishes. I had to start, I think I started watching me and my brothers when we was at home. I want to say when I was like 7, 6. I want to say probably I don't know. I know I was very, very young. And it was because my grandmother wouldn't keep us, my siblings and I, if my parents could not afford to pay her. So, you know, my life been different since I was a kid. And I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me, because everybody go through something different. And having to learn and to teach yourself, because your mom don't care about you because she's not married to your dad or she's not with your dad, and then being the only one with a different dad, then getting bullied at home by your mom, to the point like it was some days where people don't even know. Like, it's been times where they want us to fight, like me and my brothers. You know, like when you growing up, your parents, they teach you how to fight, but then it turns to a point to where they always wanted my brothers them to fight me. As we got older and older, and when I started whooping ass, it became a problem. I didn't know as I was growing up, I didn't know my grandfather was in the army for 26 years, and 22 years he was in the federal service, and majority of his federal service years, I didn't know he was an assassin. That actually shocked the hell out of me once he passed away, and I found out my grandfather was an assassin, and that he stayed in Germany. And I mean, he told me he traveled the world and everything, but he never mentioned he was an assassin. I was caught off guard after he passed away. My grandfather gave to my mother financially for me all my life, and I did not know none of that till he passed away. If anyone on my Facebook friends went to school with me, you guys know that I actually wasn't taken care of like a female should. Like, when it came to me and my brothers, we was always dressed different. Don't get me wrong, my mama did what she had to do, even though it could have been better. But she was young. By the time she was 19, she had 3 kids because she didn't want to listen. She thought she knew it all, and no one could tell her anything. So running behind a man who was constantly cheating on her and everything else in the world, of course you're gonna run up behind me. Not me, I'm not gonna do that, but I forgive her for a lot of stuff, even though spiritually I know a lot of stuff she was doing on purpose. But that's what happened when you are not healed. And hurt people. Like, in the black community, we see it all the time, to where women pop out kids left and right, and when the man don't stay with them and they move on with another man, that child that they have with their last man, they don't give a fuck about. They hate that child. They say stuff to put that child down. That happened all my life. It got to a point, I want to say, me and my mom's first physical fight is when I was... I want to send you a message. I'll see that later. Our first physical fight, I was 14. That was like the weirdest thing. That was the first week of my freshman year at Tauga, and I was happy to be in high school. My years in high school was miserable because of my mom. I mean, junior high was worse too, but I couldn't enjoy my high school years in high school. Cut off that water, little girl. Monica, cut it off. Anyways, I could not enjoy my high school days because no one knew what I was going through at home. Like, my first time on my period, I had to learn how to, I wasn't taught like a lot of stuff that girls was taught by their mom. I actually had to teach myself and grow. Like, I had other people in my lives that was mother to me, and my mother wasn't. So a lot of stuff, like, as I grew up, I had so much hatred in my heart, and it was because of her. But I did not know. It never crossed my mind like, hey, you're spiritually gifted. Where did you get this from? It never crossed my mind for years because they kept me stuck with spell work and candle magic, and it's just a lot. I'm just going to run through some of this. Like, I used to wake up, you guys, as a kid, I'm talking about as a teenager, my mom used to be hovering over me. And it's like the moment that my body would feel her, I open my eyes immediately. Even though I was in a deep sleep, properly slumbering, I would open my eyes. And she'll be standing right there. Oh, I was seeing when you sleep. And it started to be a repeat thing. And I'm like, why the hell this lady keep hovering over me while I'm asleep? Cut off the water now. Okay. So, you know, my home was hell for me. And the reason why I'm saying this is because actually healed. It took me a good minute. But my family is spiritually gifted like I am. I did not know they was getting tarot cards reading on me. I found out, 3-4 years ago? It made sense because before I could do or think anything, or they would know what I'm thinking. They would, before I can get a job, they would sit here and talk about them. I'm like, damn, they talking about a job that I'm about to get. Why? It got to the point to where me and my mom used to physically like get into it. And if my mama could not beat my ass, she would call the police on me. Like, it got to the point my mom would bully and pick on me. And my freshman year, and I do not endorse fighting your parents whatsoever. My freshman year, I went ham on her to where, yeah, it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice at all. The police got called on me. So ever since I was 14, all the way through high school, my mom kept picking fights with me because she knew she can call the police. And my stepdad didn't talk to the police when they got there. So he used to automatically, I don't know nothing, you know. So it was all my siblings' words versus mine. And then my grandma, when we used to stay up the street from her, she used to come down, oh, this happened, I seen it. She wasn't even there. She tried to convince my mom to put me in a mental home and tell them that I'll be talking to, I'll be talking to myself. She said she see dead people. I never told these people I see dead people. They just knew, you know, sometimes when I be talking, who I be talking to. But, you know, by our family being spiritual, they just made up stuff and was telling people that I was pulling my hair out every day. I was trying to kill myself. Like, they were trying to do everything possible my freshman year to get me in a mental home and to get me on medication. And by the grace of God, it did not work. I actually end up repeating everything, you know, that was said. And I told the woman, I said, my grandmother told my mom to put me here and to get a $2,000 check off me because that's what you guys offer. Because my auntie, and I said my auntie name, I said, if you look, she's in your records. I said the same thing they're trying to do to me. My grandma successfully did it to my auntie and got her on medication. And okay, I'm about to make this quick. And no. So long story short, the people told him, hey, she's too smart for her own good. She's in her right mind. We're not about to sit here and put her on no medication. They tried time after time after time trying to take me to different places to give me a check. And I'm like, what is it with these people to where they try to get me in here to put, you know, a check? So then it started to get worse to where my brothers them would pick on me. They would throw stuff at me, and me being hot-headed because it been going on for like over a decade actually. I just started knocking shit out. So, you know, one day, and let me tell y'all something. Me personally, I really don't want to feel bad for me because I know people. I have read across people who went through way more stuff than I did, and you can't even tell because their life is good as fuck and they are happy. Basically, I'm telling you all this is because it's about lessons. God allow us to go through stuff to heal, and even though we have family members, sometimes they're family by blood, but they're not your soul tribe. They don't love what you love. I say this to help you heal and to show you how to forgive people and to move on And sometimes these same people want to be in your energy. But anyways, one day, you know, I was on the phone with one of my best friends, and, you know, they was listening to the stuff that was going on. So her mom was like, get your stuff, I'm about to come get you. During that time, my mom kept picking fights with me. So when I would lash out on her, she would call the police. So I ended up with a probation officer. So around that time, I had a probation officer, and my friend mom was like, hey, what's your probation officer name, so we can let them know, like, this been going on a little bit too long. Because it got to the point to where I couldn't leave the house. If they was throwing stuff, picking with me, doing all type of stuff, I couldn't leave the house, because then they would call and say I ran away. And then it would be times that they would put me out. I'm talking about the first time my mom put me out, I was 11. I had to walk the streets. You guys, I literally walked from Kelly Land in Alexandria all the way to the south side. Over there, like close to where 3rd Street is. Do you know how many hours that took me from when I was 11? And I had to search for my biological father, and I ended up going to, luckily I had great memory, and I ended up going to my auntie's house, knocking on her door, and she looked at me like, what the fuck is going on? And I explained. It was like, again? I said, yep. I said, she's gonna tell the police I ran away. This was a repeat, like, that was going on like my whole life. Hold on, Monica, hold on. You will wait till I get on live. It's okay, baby. So I'm gonna make it quick, okay? So no, not yet, baby. So long story short, I went through hell just being born into this world because I was spiritually gifted. Long story short, my mom don't like me because of my spiritual gifts, because the gifts that I have, some of them would have went to her if she would have did what God asked her to do, but she didn't. You know, some people decide to work for the devil instead of God, so they're going to pass you up and go to the next person in line, and that next person so happened to be me. So being molested for like almost 10 years, my mom not wanting me, my biological father wasn't doing what he was supposed to do, trying to mess with young girls. I'm not really my stepdad child, so there was always something missing. I always got treated different on both ends by my grandmother and my step-grandpa, who I love my step-grandpa, even though he was hard on me sometimes, but, you know, it toughened me up. They used to call us by last name, like, oh, like whatever our last name was, that's how we was treated. So I was a Kelly, so I always got treated different. My step-grandpa used to pick on me, oh, she's a maniac. Like, if you guys only know what I went through, and where I'm at now, I'm so peaceful. I'm so happy. I'm not around like certain family members. Certain family members was throwing me through the loop, and what I mean by they was throwing hints to me. And I'm like, damn. They kept saying, yeah, when you graduate, you better leave. When you graduate, you better leave. And I'm like, how am I going to leave? My grandpa, you know, my grandpa was old, like my mom's biological father, who served in the Army and the Federal Service. He was old, and that's like, my grandpa's my heart. So long story short, I went through hell. I was homeless back and forth in high school. And having spiritual work done on me all my life, having my family getting readers on me to see how successful I'm going to be in the future, to where they wanted to stop me from receiving more spiritual gifts, and they would stop me from receiving my inheritance. And what I mean by inheritance, my grandfather passed away in 2016. And like I said, all my life, I told you earlier, he took care of me. He financially gave for me, and it took from me to find out when he passed away. People getting into it behind money, and you know, we took care of Brianna. My step grandmother, which is his wife, got into it. My auntie's mom, back and forth behind money, and everything revolved around me. And I did not know that until, you know, he got sick, and I felt something. And you know, I kind of ended up telling him like, hey, grandpa's sick, you know, maybe I should go see him. I tried to get his 3 daughters who don't never talk to him because they feel like he should give them money and give them money. I tried to get them to talk, and they only went because I told them about a will, which I knew it was a will, but he didn't tell me. I lied and say he told me. Long story short, money make people move. So he ended up telling them, I never told Brianna that. I never told Brianna about a will. Well, 2016, I made 22, 4/14/94. As you can see, all 4 is my birthday. Divinely protected, highly favored. And it's like a month after my birthday, I try to get everyone to go to see him or talk to him. And then probably I want to say May 17th or May 19th, he finally just told everyone, you know, he had prostate cancer. He had prostate cancer ever since I think I was 9 or 10. And I kind of didn't know how to take it because the only person who genuinely had love for me was actually passing away within months. And then his birthday came in June. He made 83. And then like 2 weeks after that, he kind of passed away. During the time, I was waiting for the lawyers to call me because I didn't know how it worked. I knew I was the beneficiary, but what I did not know was my grandfather's brother told their sister, and their sister told my mom that he changed the will and she was no longer the beneficiary. Everyone found out I was the beneficiary before the will could even be read in front of an attorney to me and everyone that was listed in it. Long story short, my mom convinced the lawyers. At first, they pretended like they didn't know me because my last name is Kelly. Everyone else has a different name. And then they planned it with my uncle. Because anyone who knows me could tell you I was bony as hell, and how I was just skinny. Like I could eat, I could still eat, but I was just bony as fuck, y'all. And they convinced the lawyers and judges and that I was on pills, I was on drugs, and that's why I was skinny. So long story short, my mother forged my signature and signed over my grandfather 2016, I think it was a Chevrolet truck. They signed over the money, the insurance money and the money, my inheritance money that was in the account. The account is still open. It's weird how I'm gonna tell y'all all this. I can't tell y'all everything, but she thought she was going to get the money. So the day that my grandfather was passing away, my body was just feeling weird. And something was like, okay, go see grandpa, you know, because I was already up there twice. I want to say that same week. I ended up taking off from work. I worked at Outback Steakhouse. I took off from work for like 2 weeks. And the day that he passed away, I kept trying to get up there, and she kept saying, "No kids are up here." I think I fucked around and told her, "Bitch, I ain't no child," or something like that. I told her something pertaining towards that. And the whole time it was plotted for me not to be there. But that was God working there because he wanted to see how far they would go. Long story short, my Uncle Tommy right now still has all my money. Yes, he does. He don't have the truck anymore. But my grandfather left everything to his oldest daughter. My Uncle Tommy took that money. He bought his oldest granddaughter a GMC truck. And this is what about to get y'all. My cousin, which is his oldest daughter, she owns a business with my money in the Alexandria Mall. She owns a business in the Alexandria Mall with my money. And when I finally addressed it last year with my mom, my mom kept saying, "Oh, there was no will." I said, "Yes, it was." Like, long story short, I called her out on a bunch of stuff, and I said, "I didn't sign anything over." I can show y'all the messages. This woman kept dancing around the questions I was asking her about my inheritance money, my trust fund money that my grandfather left me. Before last year, I was in a federal and a state case as my own lawyer, and I did a hell of a good job winning both cases. I brought so much attention on myself that these people went and looked me up. That's how much God worked miracles. I am not gonna lie to you. They did a whole bunch of shit to try to make me drop these cases because I had a winning hand. Well, God had a winning hand. Like, okay, I'm going to teach her family a lesson, but I'm also going to teach you guys about treating black people unfair for 400 years because she's about to educate you on record and call you out by breaking federal and state laws. Let's just say a certain political official that everybody knows across the state of Louisiana knows me by name. He knows me by name, and he was the reason why the cases, God is the reason, but God had him come down and clean up his mess and made both parties settle with me. And the fucked up part is I brought so much heat on myself that these people had to look me up, and that's how everybody came across everything. Like, she's on housing, she's leasing a car, but this bitch got money. Red flag. And then I represented myself, so the signatures did not match what was signed over from me. Still to this day, if I truly wanted to, I can take them to court. But you know what? You know how many crooked people gotta go down with that? You know how many banks gonna get in trouble? You know how many judges gonna get in trouble? You know how many lawyers gonna get in trouble? I asked my uncle several times to give me everything that's mine. Do you not know that man was scared of me for 2 years, from 2019 to 2021? He wouldn't meet with me. He wouldn't give me his phone. His sister even sat there and said, "Tommy knows you're looking for him." Me and someone who was my friend at the time said it, like, "Brie, he knows you want your money. Now that you know that he has your money, he has your property that your grandfather left to you." This is the catch, you guys. Every time I went hunting, because I'm using my spiritual gifts, every time I went hunting for everything, I kept leaving certain, like, you know how you pick somebody? I was picking every family member but my mom. Every time I pick somebody, all of a sudden my mom is gonna hit me up. "Oh, Aunt Greta said this. Uncle Tommy, he want to give you this." How do you speak to Uncle Tommy about something that I said is mine? How do you know that conversation? Everything was leading back to my mom right then and there, but I didn't say nothing to her because I didn't want her to know I was manhunting on why from 2016 to now, why the lawyers never called me. And the funny thing is, she can't tell me still to this day that she lied and told people I was on drugs and cocaine and pills. She can't. And the funny thing is, my grandmother's sister told me that. Several of them. They personally called me several times. It's like, hey, your mom, to give me a heads up. My grandmother's sisters, they're not evil. They're not evil. They gave me heads up way too many times of what was going on, what was being said. Like, everything that my mother wanted me to be in life, her children that she has with her husband, that's them. And what I'm telling you guys, if I can forgive my mother, my aunties, my brothers, everyone who went against me spiritually, and I can't go into details. A long story short, my mother, to stop me from winning my cases and to bring the heat off of them onto why I was broke and I had money. And my mom would tell you, like she was saying this ever since 2016, Bree can do whatever she can go buy this, she can go buy that. She has money. She was throwing a hint to me. I'm thinking to myself in my head, yeah, bitch, when this lawyer called me, you right, I got money. The whole time she done convinced these people I was on drugs and signed my money over to my uncle, and my uncle was supposed to split the money with her, and he took off with the money, so she didn't get a piece of the money. Long story short, so it backfired in her face. And sometimes forgiving people is not just for them, it's for you too, because a lot of stuff that people do to us, people hurt us mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. Some people hurt you because they've been hurt constantly, to where now, like, everything in my life is fine except this one division. And you know, they've been telling me, you know, I've been having my guards up relationship wise. I've been having my guards up to where I say I want a relationship and I don't. I cut guys off left and right. Like, sometimes I will push people away. It is because people ask about, we don't hear you talk about your family. They don't hear me talk about a lot of things because I don't have family physically on this earth. You know, the people who do love me passed away for me to finish being protected, because what we don't see, they see in the spiritual world. You know, this is wild what I'm about to tell you. In 2013, I graduated high school from Talbot High. My grandfather left money in a card for me because I graduated, but because my grandfather, he's old, he was old. He had to go back to Leesville, so by him driving in his truck, he had to leave early because he's old, you know. Oh, you know, y'all know how old people drive on the road and, you know, they can barely see. So he left the money in the card. Okay, hold on, baby. I'm trying to hurry and make this quick. So he left the money to my mama. I get the card. You know, I know my grandfather. Man, why my mama took the money that he left me out the motherfucking card? Like, I'm so for real. She took the money out the card that he left me from graduating school. Yes, baby, I'm going to put you back in. I'm trying to make this quick. So long story short, my mom stopped me from getting a car from high school. I was so happy. My grandfather, you know, me and him went to car lots or whatever. And, you know, he didn't want nobody to know, but I was just so happy, you know, that he was going to, you know, I didn't have a job then, but he was going to put the car in his name, and I was getting ready to go to college. Y'all, while I went told my mom immediately got on the phone with her two sisters and her mom. Okay, baby, I thought I was going to finish this. Okay, I'm coming, baby. Oh my God. Do y'all hear my daughter? She be bullying me. Hold on, baby. Here I come. Yeah. No, you bully me.
Why?
So long story short, they stopped me from getting the car. They called him. They cussed him out, saying that we're your own kids and blase blase. And he called me back, told me he couldn't give me a car. So a month later, he ended up giving my younger auntie, which is his youngest daughter, he ended up giving her a car. She fucked his credit up. Long story short, when it was time for me to go off to college, my mother did not want to sign my stuff for me to go to college. I had to keep begging her, and then finally she did it. So then when it got almost ready for me to renewal again, it was just a lot of stuff that was going on. And then I ended up dropping out. I ended up going to, 2 other colleges. I had to beg her to do both of them. It got to the point she refused to sign for me to go to school. Like, that's how bad, and she used to make fun of it, my mother has always been in a contest with me. Like, everything has been like a race with her. And I've even called her out about several things. Like, she tried to call CPS on me. She tried, my biological father ended up contacting me and telling me, that your mom trying to call CPS on you. She's telling people that you don't take care of your child, you stay leaving your child with her, you out here on drugs. And I knew he wasn't lying, because he's not the first person. Several different people ran into me in Dollar General, Walmart, hey, we just ran into your mom, and your mom was saying that you was on this and you on that. It's like a lot of people were saying it, family members, so I know they're not lying. Everything that my mother ever tried to criticize me about as a mother, I end up having to put her in her place about it, because I didn't have a mother. I was my mother. Other people was my mother. It was just so much stuff to where I was not happy, and the ice broke when my grandfather passed away. Because, baby, I started doing all type of shit with my abilities. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't give a fuck about nobody. When I say nobody, once O'Neal Anderson passed away, I didn't give a fuck about nobody. I wasn't trying to hear shit about shit. I wasn't trying to fall in love. I wasn't trying to do shit. And God was just watching me oh, okay. I'm going to sit her down. And he was doing stuff to sit me down. It's okay, I'm going to get back up and show you I can do. Yeah, but that last time, he sat me down. I'm not going to lie to you. I learned my lessons. I can laugh and joke and stuff about stuff now. People don't understand. It's a lot of other stuff that I don't want to get into. But it's when I be telling you guys to forgive people and to heal and to reconcile, you have certain people that, okay, Monica, hold on. Okay. Certain people you have to walk away from, certain environments, certain cities. That's what I be trying to tell you guys. I know God was showing me so many signs to walk away and leave people, family and friends behind. But when you don't listen to God, he's going to make you listen. When I actually started to work in high school, remind you, I'm talking about my juvenile record was long as MacArthur and Lee Street put together. I'm not going to lie to you, that shit was long as fuck. And I'm pretty sure if a lot of people knew what I was going through at home, they would have been nicer to me. And some people did know what I was going through. Like how I was treated I'm sorry, don't get me wrong. Some people, I just don't like them. I don't give a fuck about them. Like, if I don't like you, I just don't like you. They don't mean I wish you bad, but I wouldn't wish that bad on my worst enemy. Like, I wouldn't. The type of stuff I had to go through as a child, had to teaching myself about pads and tampons. You know, I didn't have no one to, like, once I reached a certain age limit, I was doing my own. I was having to help my cousins them and tutor my cousin them because, again, their mothers wasn't there, you know, running up behind men. And we have to think about it. Hey, slavery was just now getting over, and black people still was being mistreated. They were still being traumatized. They were still being treated unfair, and so that takes a hold. And to be honest with you, if I would have received all that fucking money my grandfather left for me, then a hitman probably would have been called on me by my own family because they wanted the money, which I'm gonna have to tell y'all about that another story, another time, because y'all will be like, bitch, your family put a hit on it? Yeah, they did. And it's all behind money. And because my uncle took off with the money and my mom didn't get the money, life insurance was put on me as well. But anyways, that's for another day. Now I can sit here and laugh about some stuff. Sometimes I still get emotional, but it's not where you come from, it's where you end up at. So that's why I be telling a lot of people to heal, a lot of people to reconcile with certain people. I be telling people to move forward with their life. Sometimes you have to move from a different environment, a toxic environment. Sometimes you might not want to leave people alone, but it's something that you don't know, that God knows. But now that everyone is aware that God, you know, He gave me my abilities back. Because, yes, when I tell you, oh, Lord, when I say I was off the chain, baby, my grandfather passed away, and that was like my heart broke. And now I can still sit here and have conversations and talk to him. And I can help others, because some people are called to be a leader and to teach what wasn't taught to us. Spirituality is African American people birthright, and our own family members didn't teach us. How you think slavery got started? Black people sold out black people's spiritual gifts because they didn't want to see no one more powerful than them, more successful than them, more educated than them. We've been doing this to our own kind, and no one wants to take accountability. We want to point at the white people. Even though they have done what they have done, certain black people taught them that because they didn't know about our spiritual gifts. 48:18 on the clock. Some people need to go look up 8:18. And now God wants us to clean up our mess, but first we need to heal. Everything that was done to Jesus is being done to us. And that's what people want to realize. When we be crying, why me, why I'm going through this, they did it to Jesus first, and He had to get through it. So if Jesus can do it, then we can do it too. So my mom is well aware that I know of all the spells and curses that was done. She's well aware of, I know, every time she get a reading on me, I know. Every time she call herself trying to plot on me, I know. And it's like at this time, it's like I'm still human. But the spiritual stuff that I'm going through, I should not have to go through from my own mother, because she's jealous of my spiritual gifts. And she's jealous of the money that my grandfather left to me that I don't have. My thing is, checkmate, you at least you made sure I didn't get all that money, because I'm not going to say the amount that it was, because a lot of people, if I was to sit here and say the amount that it was, a lot of people are like, oh no, you need to sue her ass, or you need to take her to federal court. Yes, okay, you guys, I have to go. because she wanted to play in the tub when I got on live, so I didn't think I was going to be on here this long. But anyways, long story short, okay, Monica, here I come. Long story short, people go through way more. Monica, okay, Abadat, I'm coming, Abadat. Long story short, people go through more things than you go through. But instead of you always saying, why me and why me, learn to, when you see people going through stuff, when you see people dressed a certain way, acting a certain way, learn to pray for them or ask God to heal them, because you don't never know what they're going through. But also, you need to learn the lessons in your life. Forgive people. Certain people you might need to reconcile an issue with. Certain people you need to cut your cords with. You need to leave behind. And for ladies, please do not try to force. If a man do not want to be with you, don't force him to be. Because that's how diseases get started. That's how broken homes get started. That's how you start to mistreat your child. 5111 on the clock. That's how you start to mistreat your child based on what the daddy done. And we all know genes are strong as fuck. If that child look just like his motherfucking pappy, you go let him know that he look like his motherfucking pappy. Stop creating broken homes. If a man want to go, let him. Men, if a woman want to go, let her. We have to heal ourselves before we can love someone. So before you sit here and call yourself trying to love someone, you actually need to heal. Because sometimes you have people who genuinely want to love you, and we put our wall up because we've been betrayed so many different times. We've been stabbed in our back behind lovers, families, cousins, people that we worked with. We've been betrayed so many times that sometimes it's hard for you to move forward in life. And what I just told y'all, I don't really share with a lot of people. And to be honest with you, I really don't care, because no one can judge me, because everyone has sins. And some people be too busy pointing at other people's sins that they don't want to focus on their own, but they want to cause a distraction. Because my closet is clean. I can't say the same about a lot of people. So long story short, stop judging people. You don't know what people go through at home. Heal. If you crack an egg and it got some blood in it, it's something that you need to cleanse, because all my chakra is aligned except my heart chakra, and I know why already. I'm not gonna go into details, but sometimes some people genuinely be trying to love you or to show you love, but because you was betrayed so many different times, you wouldn't be able to recognize it. So everyone who has mother issues, father issues, bullying issues, heartbreaks, trauma, anything, heal from that. Like, start talking, start praying about it, start asking God to help you heal, to help you move forward, because at the end of the day, no one controls your destiny but you. So anyways, let me go, because my daughter's about to get on my ass. Bye, y'all.